You know that feeling when you've got this brilliant idea, but it feels like you're talking to a brick wall? Well, we're going to fix that. Today, we're unlocking a kind of superpower, one that makes your argument so strong, so compelling, that people just have to listen. This is all about how to make your words really, truly matter.
So here's the game plan. First, we'll dive into the raw power of proof. Then, we're going to build your very own evidence toolkit. After that, we'll see these tools in action, connect proof to this huge idea of trust, and wrap it all up with why this is honestly one of the most important skills you can ever learn.
All right, let's jump right in with our first section, the power of proof. What's the real difference between an idea that lands and one that just fizzles out?
I think we've all been there, right? You have this amazing concept. You know it's a game changer. But when you share it, it's just crickets. It's like you're shouting into the wind. And it's not just frustrating. It can make you start to doubt your own ideas, your own voice.
But here's the secret, and it's a big one. It's not about being the loudest person in the room. It's about backing up what you say with solid evidence. That's the game changer. Evidence is what turns your personal opinion into something real, something people have to actually engage with.
Okay, so how do we actually build a strong case? Let's put together your personal evidence toolkit. We're going to stock it with 4 super powerful, all-purpose tools you can start using, like today.
Okay, here they are, our 4 essential tools: facts, examples, expert quotes, and statistics. These are the absolute building blocks for any solid argument. You can kind of think of it like this. Facts are your foundation, examples bring it to life, experts give it weight, and statistics show you just how big the idea is. Let's break each one down. First up, we've got the fact. A fact is something you can prove. You can check it, you can look it up. It's not an opinion, it's just true. So when you state a fact, like this one about how much sleep kids need, you're standing on solid, unshakable ground. It's the anchor of your argument. Next up, the example. This is where you make it real. A real-life story takes an idea that might seem kind of abstract and makes it totally concrete and relatable. It helps people connect on a human level, you know? It shows your idea in action and just makes it so much easier to understand. It really puts a human face on the data.
Then we have the expert quote. Oh man, this one adds some serious weight to your argument. When you use the words of someone who's a trusted professional, a doctor, a scientist, a specialist, you're basically saying, hey, it's not just me who thinks this. The experts agree. You're borrowing their credibility, and that's incredibly powerful. And finally, the statistic. Numbers can be just so powerful. They give your argument a sense of scale, a sense of impact. A good statistic, like this one, can instantly show your audience that what you're talking about isn't some small, isolated thing. It's a big deal. It's a widespread reality. All right, toolkit's packed. Now let's see how to actually use these things in the real world. Time to put our tools to work and see how they can come together to build something that's really, really persuasive.
Okay, take a look at this. It's a pretty simple argument on the surface, but it's absolutely packed with evidence. We're going to break this down together, piece by piece, and find the tools the author used.
So first things first, before we even look for the proof, what's the main point here? What is the one big idea the author wants us to walk away believing?
Yep, exactly. The main claim is right there at the beginning. It's the central pillar that the whole rest of the paragraph is designed to support. Everything else is going to connect right back to this one idea. Okay, now for the fun part. The author doesn't just leave that claim hanging there, right? They support it with pieces from our toolkit. So take a look. Can you spot the different types of evidence they're using?
And there they are. See how perfectly this works? We've got a statistic from a study, we've got an expert quote from teachers, and we have that personal example. Now notice how they all work together. The stat gives you the hard data, the experts lend it credibility, and the example gives it a heart. Now that is a convincing case.
But you know, using evidence is about so much more than just winning a debate. It's about something way deeper, something far more important. It's about building trust. Let's dig into that connection. This quote from the book of Ephesians talks about speaking the truth in love. And it gets at something really profound, right? It suggests that how we share what's true is just as important as the truth itself. Just think about that for a second. When you take the time to share real evidence instead of just, firing off your opinion, what are you really saying to the other person? You're showing that you respect them. You respect them enough to bring them the truth, to do the work, and to treat the whole conversation with care. This little poem here just captures it perfectly.
Feelings are powerful. Of course they are. They can definitely move us. But proof, real, verifiable proof, that's what builds the lasting foundation of trust. When you can back up what you say, the truth can stand all on its own.
All right, let's bring it all home and talk about the big picture. Because learning to use evidence isn't just some classroom exercise. It's a life skill, and it has a really profound purpose. Look, knowledge is an incredibly powerful tool. And just like any tool, you can use it to build things up or to tear things down. Education by itself isn't enough. It's when we combine what we know with a moral compass, with a real desire to do good, that we stop just being smart and we start to become wise.
And this, right here, is what we should all be aiming for. To be able to communicate with the kind of strength that comes from truth, the clarity that comes from solid evidence, and the grace that comes from genuinely wanting to build people up, not tear them down.
So, as you take this new toolkit out into the world, I want you to remember why it all matters. Being smart is great, but using that intelligence to make good, positive choices, that's what really makes a difference. So I challenge you. How will you use the power of proof to build trust and make a positive difference in the world? Go use your words to build something better, something more truthful,